Yes. Yes, sir. You're audible.
Yeah. Okay, so let's start the interview. We'll
Yeah.
begin with your introduction. So you can start with your introduction.
Yeah. I'm Praveen Vasuleti, and I have 2 years and 7 months of experience as a data analyst at University of Friends Private Limited, Bangalore, where I worked on data extraction, data cleaning, and data analysis from both web and Android application. I mainly use Excel and Power BI to transform raw data into meaningful insights to create reports for business team. And after that, I worked as a data analyst at Glancard Private Limited, where I manage the product listing, inventory updates, and sales using Shopify and Excel. I also generate reports, sales reports, and inventory updates for the management. In addition, I worked on an automation project called My New Automation using Python and Pandas. It helps to reduce the manual effort and increase the productivity. So that's all about it.
Okay, Praveen. So let's start with your resume. So you
Yeah.
mentioned reducing reporting error by 30%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So can you explain me about that? What you did?
Uh, Usually I just I created an automation part using Python and Pandas. I'll start the explaining of the process. And first of all, we have an app name called My New App. And in that, whenever the user entered into the app, we have session IDs and user ID. And we used to analyze end-to-end analysis from the starting to beginning, from starting to ending, what the user is doing now. It's either failed, success, or unknown. There are three categories are there. With that, we used to do everyday daily tasks. Now I created this automated task for this repetitive task, and that reduce the manual effort and errors also, because it's already predefined that that automation it doesn't do any mistakes, and it usually some of the colleagues they're doing mistakes and they will write in success instead of fail, and in fail case they success instead of right. That's why there are a lot of errors are there, and it reduces while using this automation.
Okay. And you also worked with 50,000 plus records.
Yes.
So can you tell me what challenge did you face?
The challenge is a lot of things are there, because a lot of columns are there, around 30 columns are there. And in a day wise, we have chatbot records are there at around 1 lakh above. It's 1 lakh and 1 lakh above records are there. And we need to check the blanks, what are the blanks are there, and a few cases are missing. And the brand item is wrong. And sometimes this one is that sometimes user miss the conversation, and it goes and he will come back again. And there are duplicates are there. A lot of things are there, and I used to check properly and removing nulls and removing duplicates and maintain the proper data.
Okay. And you also mentioned that you automated reports using macros.
Yes.
Okay. So what
And
exactly did you
this
automate? I
we usually use,
Yeah, yeah. So you
yeah,
mentioned in the resume
yeah,
that you automated reports using macros.
yeah.
Yeah. So may I know that
It's
what
already,
exactly?
yeah, it's already reports are driven by some colleagues, other colleagues, and I just created that the same repeated task, and I just record the macro, and I write small VBA using ChatGPT and all, and I write small VBA codes for that, and I show the records to the higher management where the errors are coming and where the bugs are there, and need to fix that to show the higher man, and they can increase the productivity.
Okay. So, okay. So let's move to the SQL part. So you
Yeah.
mentioned Windows function.
Yes.
Can you give me a real use case of Windows function?
Window function that we can, it's a that we can use. The partition is there, and the lot of functions are there in that, and this rank, dense rank, and some row number, lot of those there. The main purpose in window function to get the data. This, I mean, just to, I mean, what we call if we group by, then the data will be crunch and all. And if we do window function, the data is divided into windows, and it will give the exact results without losing any other data.
Okay. Can you tell me the difference between rank and dense rank?
The rank that will skips the rank when any number is tied, and it will give the same rank, and it will skip the next rank, and it will go the next line, and then stack it want to skip, and it will give the it will come in the sequence.
And how do you optimize a SQL query?
First of all, we optimize the SQL. I'll give the index numbers to the column, and we can call it easily. And I don't use the select star, because if we use the select star, it will take the whole column. That's why I use the required column names. And whatever the unnecessary data I'll just to remove, and group by I don't use. And for this all this action, I can optimize the query.
Okay. So since you mentioned that you have used Excel as well,
Excel.
I can see that in your resume.
Yeah.
So can you tell me the difference between VLOOKUP and XLOOKUP?
VLOOKUP, it will go to the vertical, and it will there is a limitation in the VLOOKUP. It will go to left to right. That's a limitation for that. And XLOOKUP, there is no limitation. You can search the data anywhere you want, and it's horizontal or vertical, whatever it was, you can search the data. In the VLOOKUP, we had the limitation. It will go to left to right.
Okay, so now let's jump into the Power BI. So how did you design your dashboard?
I mainly use a dashboard that is three categories. One is I used to create weekly reports, and the first thing is success case. How many success are this in week? And second is how many fails are in this week, and how many unknown are and in this week, and what are the bugs are there, or what kind of bugs are coming in that week, and what are any other bugs are coming in that week. Like that, I need to create the Power BI dashboards, all this process. And whatever the management are asking, in addition, if they're asking something, I used to include that in that. Yeah, nice to create this all.
Okay. And what all DAX function have you used?
Just- we don't use that much of DAX function. Mainly we use only because it's not in numerical data. It's only the data is based on the conversations, text only. Then we used to create. We don't use that much, but we used to use normal DAX functions.
No, no, whatever the DAX function you have used, even the basic one. What DAX function you have used?
We use only in this normal calculate sometimes, or if the function, how many errors are there, high or low, and switch like this. These are basics.
Okay, okay, no, not an issue. So can you tell me about any time intelligence function?
Time intelligence, total YTD is there, year to
Hmm.
date, and total sales by date column and date, and the total MTD is there, month to date, and total MTD, sum of sales, and the date column date, and total QTD quarterly date, and we can use last year sales. You can use the calculate function, and you can use the last year same period as last year, and date add the last previous month sales and all.
Okay, now tell me,
Yeah.
I'm giving you a scenario.
Yeah.
Uh, so what if there is not a no proper date table? Let's take a scenario. You have a table in which the order date and the delivery date is available,
Okay.
and you need to connect it with a date table separately. And if there is no separate date table, then what would happen?
If there is no date separately, then we used to create one date table according to that dates. If it is not possible, then it might be
No, I'm
system.
giving you,
Yeah.
Praveen. So what
Yeah.
what would happen if there is no date table?
If there is no date table, we can't analyze the data, because if date table is the key for that date intelligence functions and all.
Okay. Now I am going to ask you something related to Python.
Mhm.
So what did you do using pandas?
First of all, I use the pandas to read Excel file, df.read Excel. And after that, I used to do group by for all the session IDs and user IDs and all. And after that, I used to remove this duplicates and all. Remove duplicate, df dot fill na is remove nulls and all. Df dot is null or drop na. And after
Mhm.
that, I use some random function on single line. Yeah. this all I did, and yes, I just created this automation
Okay, and can you
using
tell
the
me the
ChatGPT.
difference? Can you tell me the difference between pandas and SQL?
Difference between pandas and SQL. SQL is a structured query language. It's a language, and we can get the data from the database. It's a language, and the pandas, it's a library. That was the it's a library. Yeah, and it we can both are same and both are similar. We can retrieve the data using pandas and SQL, but SQL is a language and pandas is a library.
Okay, and how do you perform trend analysis?
Trend analysis. I'm not aware of that, sir. So I learned that.
Okay, okay, no issues, no issues. Okay, now I'm giving you a scenario.
Yeah.
So I'm not giving a particular tool that you have to get from the SQL, Pandas, or the Power BI. I'm just giving you a scenario. You have to
Oh,
select your tool on your own.
yeah.
So in the scenario, sales dropped suddenly.
Okay.
Now, how will you analyze?
First of all, I use the Power BI. I use the KPI matrix KPI code, and I'll put the slicers and all, and I'll check that last month sales and this month sales. And according to that, I'll give the some percentage why the sales was dropping down. I'll check that what the percentage was sales drop down previous month and this month, and I'll check in this what are the slow moving items are there. Then I need to push it forward to give some discount or something like that.
Okay, and how do you perform? How do you handle the missing values?
And the missing values. First of all, I'll find in SQL.
Okay,
Is it,
you have chosen your tool. Now, how would you handle?
uh, there's missing values. If this comes in Excel file, I'll use the Excel file and I'll remove the blanks and all. Where the blanks are there, and I'll remove that. And after that, I'll get into Power Query, which I'll load into the Power Query. Then I'll use that Power Query editor.
Okay, so you are telling me that every time you will get any missing values, you will remove that row
Yeah,
completely.
it's depends on depends on the requirement. If it is required to that sheet, and I'll maintain that. If it is not required, if I know this value is not required, then I'll remove that. If this value is required, and I'll check one again and again, and then after that I'll remove that. Otherwise, I'll keep it.
Okay, so although your answer is partially correct, I want you to expand a little more, and for that I'm giving a hint. So one point you
Mm,
have mentioned that you will remove.
mm,
That's one point. But there
yeah.
may be other scenarios as well that, or maybe other approaches as well. Would
Mm.
you like to just give a try? That apart from removing, what else we can do? Handle the missing value.
But for removing, we can fill the data. If it is sometimes what will happen is some data is not coming properly, and we can fill the above row, below row, and we can fill the data. Or some other parts we can fill with some other numbers. If it is blank, and we can maintain as a blank or some text or some numbers and all using instead of removing that.
And how do you ensure the data accuracy?
So I ensure the data accuracy. First, I'll take the data properly. What are the columns are there? If that column, the data is correct or not. Like that, if for example, in phone number column, if they write text, then that is wrong. That's why I'll check again and again. And after that, I'll check the duplicates and all, if duplicates are there or not. And I'll check the nulls. The nulls are there, and if the nulls are required or not. If the nulls are not required, then I'll remove that. If the nulls are required, I'll maintain that. And that's the fourth. Once I submit that file, I'll check that before submission.
Okay, now coming to performance optimization.
Mm,
So you improve the efficiency by 40%.
mm.
Can you tell me how?
Performance optimization.
Yeah, yeah. So as you mentioned that you have improved the efficiency by
Yeah, that's right.
40%. Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
what the steps you take? How did you do that?
that's where the automation part is right. For that, I use the steps and all. And as I mentioned earlier, there are errors while when we are doing the manually. There are some errors are there when we are doing the manual work, and with that automation, it helps that performance optimization. It improves that the performance by every individual person, and the errors are reducing, and the performance was increased.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Praveen, so next few questions are the rapid fire one. I
Okay.
need only single liner answers, not more than
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
Count versus count rows.
Count versus count rows. The count, it will count that only this numeric values, and counters it will count all the rows, including blanks.
Inner versus left join.
Inner join, it will match the matching details from the both tables, and the left join, it will match the all the details from the left table, and the matching details from the right table.
Sum versus sum x.
Hello.
Yeah, sum versus sum x.
Sum versus sum x. Sum, it will count that total value, and sum x. Sorry, I remember this. Sum x. Sorry, I'm not able to answer this. Sorry about this.
Problem. What is
Yeah.
DAX?
DAX is a data analysis expression. It's a language in the Power BI. But we used to use the measures and calculated forms using this DAX.
What is query folding?
The query folding, yeah, folding. Uh, I'm not able to recall this. So,
Okay, no issue, no issues, Praveen.
yeah.
Okay, so that's it from my side, Praveen. I'll give your
Mm.
feedback to the recruiter and the team will get back to you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Praveen.
Yeah. Thank
Bye
you.
bye.